serve here in just a moment from Hannah Borer.
Here we go, underway inside Reynolds Coliseum, and a quick kill goes to Ava Brizard, who just celebrated a milestone this past Friday, her 500th career kill. And she's going to have quite a few more in her career, Paul.
I think the future is bright for Ava Brizard. How about that hard cut shot to open up the ball game?
The team leader for NC State in kills per set, better than 3.5. She gets the first one. There is Leoniak on that right side, not once but twice, Paul. We talked about it in the open, and she immediately shows exactly what she did on Friday night.
Excellent block there. Jada Allen coming in to help out. That set was inside, so Leoniak had to step in away from the antenna to help out to finally get that block.
Kristen McDaniel, the server for NC State, served it very well against the Demon Deacs. She had 3 aces. Borer goes to Ava Francis, and there's Courtney Bryant playing those 6 rotations. There's Francis at the net. She said, hey, I'm a physical presence on the right side too.
Love that block from Francis, and again, also in position was Sydney Peterson to help out as well. So blocks aplenty early on here in this matchup.
Good pass from Leoniak, and NC State in system.
Like that positioning from Jada Allen. She recognizes that the right back is pulled way off at 10 feet. That means that that tip to the shallow right front of Virginia Tech is very available. She does so successfully for the point.
Just in on the back line. Sydney Peterson with the kill. This one was close. We'll take another look. Well, might have been a touch there anyways.
Yep, interesting call there. Touch or otherwise was going to be in. Interesting swing. Going to the middle was Virginia Tech.
Off the net, and once again, Virginia Tech. This time, Haley Pierce ready and waiting.
Good positioning there from Pierce, and it was Bryant really looking up at that set to try to take the attack. She did not keep that ball in front of her, therefore she couldn't see the block coming at her. Another point for Virginia Tech.
A swing for Leoniak, handled by the setter Borer, tipped by Kara Lewis. Oh, this is tight. And someone was in the net. And it was Virginia Tech.
A net touch there, I think you could have even gotten an over the net.
Now, Virginia Tech doesn't realize that they lost the point, Paul. We've got volleyballs on both sides, and Sydney Peterson saying, it's my serve.
7 players on the court would give Virginia Tech an advantage, but clearly they weren't going to go following through there. There's the net touch. I think there was also an over that could have been called regardless.
Yeah, I would agree. Tough serve. It clips the top of the tape. This is tight. Lewis making the most of it. Free ball. Borer goes to Pierce, trying to go down the line.
Fantastic save from Lewis in the middle. She had to reach up, looking behind her, and still maneuver around the NC State block and Jada Allen, and she was able to work her way around it to keep the run going. However, eventually NC State with the point.
Rodriguez calls the second ball. Good find by Pierce initially. The hustle from Borer, but not enough.
And that's where quality team play comes into action here. Leonia is able to make a free ball pass available for the run, and then you get the decoy from Schock, leaving a little bit of free space for Bryant to get the finish.
Daniels handles that swing well. Pancake from Borer. There were 3 hokey hands in the middle of that. Ella Beyer gets a swing, making the start today for the first time in her career. And an attack error on NC State.
Great scrambling effort from Virginia Tech, and that pancake eventually saves the rally. Only good can happen from a save, even when you send it over in a free ball. That's one more opportunity for the opposing team to make a mistake. Sure enough, they did. The air ball from Bryant.
As you see, Virginia Tech, outstanding defense this season.
And a bit of a discussion here from NC State that what they're saying is that the ball glanced off of a defender on the Virginia Tech side. No go, there's not going to be a challenge there. Instead, we will see the serve and the point awarded to Virginia Tech.
McDaniel has to come a ways for that pass. Borer covers the tip. And a kill for Ella Beyer. Boy, she had just one kill on the season coming in today. But the former All-State player in Georgia and prep volleyball All-American puts this one down.
Good work on the high hands for her first kill there, and a good look from Virginia Tech to get a new player out on the floor.
Part of a young but talented Hokies team. Well, she thought about a swing there, goes for the free ball instead. McDaniel in system, terminated by Martina Leoniak.
Wonderful back shoot to Leoniak. Love that set from McDaniel, getting the job done, creating the gap. Just too many attackers available for Virginia Tech to get in front of the result. Kara Lewis a little late to help out on that block.
Great slow-mo swing from Leoniak. And we talked about this on Friday, right? Is that as she played for the Polish national team on the right side. She also played her first year at Hawaii, as we have an ace from NC State. Also played there when she was playing for Hawaii. So she's very comfortable in that position.
She's had really good looks as an outside hitter for NC State last year and now seeing some time on the right. But certainly she is comfortable over there. That is not just a unique scenario for her just to fill some space. She knows just what she's doing over there on the right.
Ava Francis out of the back row.
Good look out of the back row from the Hokies. Their first attempt out of the back row is successful, and that's a unique look. NC State didn't quite know what to do with that. You could tell they were out of sorts when that set was for the back row attack. Good finish by the Hokies.
The leading attacker for the Hokies, better than 3 kills per set. Great effort again. You can see why Virginia Tech is so good defensively, right? A lot of it, there's some skill to it, but a lot of it is hustle and heart.
Really impressed with Virginia Tech's defense so far, but they've been needing to do that. They've not been as in system as they would like to be. They've got to be able to scramble a little bit more to keep rallies alive right now. They are doing so. They need to do it more on the first touch, though.
Borer has options. She goes back row again. This time to Haley Pierce, and the point will go to the Pack.
This time the illegal back row attack. So on that back row attempt, the toe on the 10-foot line. Therefore, that call immediately made. You could see Coach Luga, Slabe, and squad immediately asking for the illegal back attack. That call made, and then the serve from Bryant.
On the slide, that's off the antenna. Now, that is something that NC State had some trouble defending against Emia Gogar and Wake Forest on Friday.
They did. Wake Forest was really masterful on that slide. They looked fantastic. I'm surprised that Virginia Tech hasn't gone with that slide. When we come back, we'll have to see if they go back to the slide once more out of this media timeout.
Brown sugar and cinnamon, sweet potato chip.
I love this.
These are gonna be the rolled wafers. Give it a try, tell me what you think.
Like a mini pie rolled up.
These are our old-fashioned pumpkin snap cookies.
Not too sugary. Something I would give to my daughter.
For all your fall favorites, come on down to your local Sprouts.
We love our house. The outdoor space is great, but we do have invasive weeds.
I think they got in the house.
I think you're right. Stay away from my family! Why are you so strong? At least Geico makes bundling my home and car insurance easy. We save so much.
You want me to get the spray stuff?
Get the spray stuff.
Ranger! He's up here!
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Truth is, my schedule's pretty jam-packed these days. I've got school Monday through Friday, jiu-jitsu on Thursdays, and library books I've got to get back by Friday. In my weekend, I've got 2. We know free birthday parties on Saturday, and Sunday, that's my me time. I am not willing to give that up.
How's that look?
Works for me.
Works for me.
Tourists. Tourists that turn into scientists. Tourists photographing thousands of miles of remote coral reefs that can be analyzed by AI in real time. So researchers can identify which areas are at risk and help life underwater flourish.
And when Boston College travels to Spry Stadium, Winston-Salem to take on the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest. And at 8, third-ranked North Carolina trying to defend their home turf against 11th-ranked Notre Dame, looking for an upset. It's all coming your way Thursday on the ACC Network. Alongside Paul McDonald, I'm Andrew Sanders, welcoming you back to Reynolds Coliseum. Virginia Tech out of the timeout. Well, they go to their most consistent attacker in Kara Lewis, all smiles as she heads to the bench following this kill.
Now in her second year at Virginia Tech after a career at Maryland, you see the elevation from Lewis well over and above the block of NC State.
Well, Ava Brizard got the first kill of this match. She's been quiet since then, and Virginia Tech ready for it.
Virginia Tech has been very focused on pinpointing the left side attack, getting quality touches against NC State's left side swings.
A swing for Madison Williams. Ileana Rodriguez with a nice dig. Sierra Cates doing well also defensively, but nothing Cates could do to stop that one. Hammered.
Riley Schock with the finish. She had a solo block in front of her, and the result, she's finding open spaces there as Virginia Tech continues to commit to the pins on their blocks. That's going to leave middle attacks open for both Schock and Jada Allen.
The super serve of Sky Stokes. And right on cue, serves up an ace. Saw 4 of those Friday night against the Demon Deacons. It is tough to handle.
Bombs away from Sky Stokes. She runs the topspin attack from 30 feet to perfection there with a quality ace. She puts significant pressure on the service reception of the Hokies.
And sometimes that service, give and take, you get an ace, you get a service error.
And it's a risk-reward scenario. I think Coach Slave will accept an ace and an error 1 for 1 once in a while, but generally Stokes' ratio a lot better than that.
A little awkward here. Peterson does get a kind of a half swing on it. Full swing from Williams, sent back. NC State will try again. Out of system. Brizard cuts it across for the point.
Big swing from Brizard. Brizard has targeted the cut and the angle. Both of her kills have been on that side of the court, so she is not targeting line like she did successfully against Wake, instead going angle against Virginia Tech early on here in set 1.
So the largest lead for the Wolfpack so far, opening up a 5-point advantage. And another tough server behind the line. The Hokies in system, but there's Jada Allen in the middle. They'll try the other side. Pierce with a roll shot. Stokes up to meet it. Across, Brizard with the tip. Oh, the Hokies, how did they get that over? It was Francis. Last-ditch effort. And I think that ball might have been going out, Paul.
Well, Virginia Tech maybe got a little flinchy after that fantastic up.
What a play.
Ava Francis with the peace of mind to get her elbow flat as she could just to knock that ball over. I like the survival instinct of the Hokies here. They just still struggle with their offense, hitting it all zeros so far in this match.
You say able to get that elbow flat. I've heard you say as a coach before, you no matter what body part you hit the ball with, just try to make it flat.
That's right. When in doubt, if it's flat and it hits off you, you got a chance.
Hokies with a chance here off a free ball. Boy, a left-handed tip from Pierce, not what they were looking for. The set connection not there. It is with Brizard, one of the ACC's best, with another kill.
Brizard starting to come alive. She was struggling after the first kill of the ball game. A little bit quiet midway through, but now she's starting to get through again, this time into the gap. She acknowledges and recognizes the late block of Ava Francis, able to snap that one down for a point.
Bohr with options off the slide.
And there's that slide that you brought up just moments ago, Andrew. The slide has been successful for the Hokies. They've seen some free space on those swings, a couple of good kills, including that one just a moment ago from Peterson.
Sydney Peterson, the grad student from Snohomish, Washington, recorded her 1,000th career point last weekend against Syracuse. Great experience, and she's got some experience doing that as well. In her Nevada career, she was the team leader in blocks all 3 years. She was with the Wolf Space Pack in Nevada. Here, a block combining with Pierce.
Great close by Peterson for that block.
That is a difference. Wolfpack is a unique nickname in college athletics. NC State, one word. Nevada, it is the Wolf Space _Pack.
I learned something every time I talk with you, Andrew. Today, no different. You can chalk it up in set one already getting that knowledge. And this is a tough rotation that NC State just got out of on the missed serve from Virginia Tech. Leoniak was on the left, Brizard on the right. Not the best offensive situation for NC State.
Overpass from Rodriguez. It's Allen who touches it first. Just puts it up high there for her setter. And Virginia Tech trying to pick that up off the tip. Could not do it. Timeout, Hokies. So the Wolfpack with a 6-point advantage. What's been working for them, Paul?
Well, really for NC State, they've just been on the first ball touches have been just a little bit better, not only in transition, but also on service reception. A lot more crisp than it was in set one against Wake Forest. For Virginia Tech, they've been keeping rallies going. They're holding NC State to 179 on the attack offense. Definitely NC State wants to get a little higher there. The scrappiness of Virginia Tech is what's been keeping them in this.
Well, we talk about their defense, right? And the leaders, of course, the libero, Ileana Rodriguez, the grad student from New York City. New York, they say you make it there, you can make it anywhere. And she grew up there and then 4 years at St. John's playing in the city. She is a tremendous defender. You see leading Virginia Tech in digs and second most in the ACC. And she's got national team experience too. The last 3 seasons, Paul, she spent with the Dominican national team.
That national team experience really makes a difference for some of these athletes because it gives them a different style of play internationally. It's a different number of substitutions. The offensive level at U23 is really, really high. So for Ileana Rodriguez, very much prepared, gets prepared for a high level of ACC play and that in the Big East with St. John's. She's having an individually a very good game today for Virginia Tech.
Got the gold medal in the Pan Am Games. She comes from a volleyball family. Her dad, Elvis, was a professional volleyball player, and her younger sister, Ariana, is in the ACC as a freshman this season down in Miami in Coral Gables. Here she is with a pinpoint pass to start. And that's Virginia Tech when they're clicking. In system, it starts with Rodriguez, and it ends with Pierce.
Quality swing, and the one area where the Hokies are finding some in-system offense success is on the right side zone. So not only the slide to the right, but also right side attackers coming straight away against the left side block of NC State. Coach Byers kind of squinting there, trying to generate a little bit of momentum after that big kill on the right side, then the missed serve. She, like any coach, really wants to try to string together a few points and gain that momentum back here in the away gym. Trying to close this gap. NC State only needing 6 more points.
Byer off the high hands. McDaniel will go to Leoniak. She has been impressive. An NC State team that really missed her in the lead up to the season and in the early part of the season. Paul, she's a difference maker.
She's a difference maker over there on the right, and she's going to give Coach Slave some ideas regarding possibly keeping that spot on the right side. And with the return of Amanda Rice, hopefully very soon, those questions will have to be answered regarding the roster for NC State.
Good call by Kristen McDaniel. Saw that one go out. And this time Francis ineffective from the back row. Well, you have to think so far, and look, they're still 4 points away from closing out. You have to think so far that Coach Slave much more pleased with this start, especially coming off of Friday, because that was in an overall dominant match against a good program. That was the one thing you can really look at is Pierce on the second try puts it down. That's the one thing you can say, hey, that's an easy area of improvement. Get out of the starting blocks faster. They've done that so far today.
And most coaches will tell you the winning team is the team that shows up on time, and that's really code for did you show up for point number one, or did you have a wake-up call, fall behind? And that's risky business against a good Wake Forest team. NC State did step on the gas after that rough set one.
Showing up on time has always been a struggle.
Well, Andrew, you made it on time for this ball game. And then some, not worried about that. I talked to some other coaches. In fact, Pete Waite, the legendary coach from the University of Wisconsin, used to say if you're 10 minutes early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, well, that's another discussion altogether.
Cabello off the top of the netting. Francis with the kill. You know the problem is with GPS, you always know your ETA, and if I made it in 15 minutes one time with no traffic, I think I can make it in 15 minutes every time. That's my issue.
Understood. Hey, we're relying on technology a little bit too much. This old man knows the time when you had to peel open an atlas and take your chances.
Hey, I'm old enough to remember.
And then take your chances on I-40 coming into Raleigh.
Bryant with the coverage. And a chance now for NC State. Francis there with Lewis. They'll try Bryant a second time. And second time's the charm.
And Bryant over there on the right side in that rotation. Again, one of those tricky rotations in a 6-2 system for NC State. They get out of it in the out-of-system ball. How about the bump set for the finish? And Bryant's going to go ahead and sub out with available substitutions for NC State. We'll see our first opportunity to get a look at Elijah Villar getting in on the game. She's going to serve with the hopes of serving this set out.
Eliza Villar, part of a great sophomore class for NC State. We've seen Brizard, Courtney Bryant, Lily Cropper. Set point, NC State.
That block from Ava Francis in position, but she didn't seal her hand in quite enough. So Madison Williams is blocked, but that block out of bounds for the 24th point.
Borer has to cover a lot of ground. Cabello will try Brizard. Her match-leading 5th kill gives NC State set one, Paul.
Fantastic from the middles.
McDaniel with a tough serve. Beyer did well with it. There is Leoniak and Jada Allen on her side.
Got to give a lot of credit to Jada Allen there, too. We heaped a lot of praise on Leoniak, but with Jada Allen closing, that means 4 hands and 4 arms in the face of Virginia Tech on that attack.
Stokes backspins a dig. Tough set for Leoniak. It finds the court somehow.
Rodriguez can only do so much. She's had an outstanding first set, but they're playing very, very deep. She had to charge all the way in to collect that ball. Couldn't quite do it. Second point awarded to the Wolfpack. And again, the aggressive serving of NC State there. McDaniel going for it on that serve. Really have been impressed with NC State's aggression on the serve. I feel like earlier in the year they were playing a little bit more conservative. I think they've dialed things up here in ACC play on that service aggression.
Connection with the middle. Jada Allen made that look easy.
And that's a very difficult ball to attack in the middle. She has to open up from a pass that's in middle back / right back. She has to open way up to her setter, then release, closing the body to rip that ball into the right back.
Good set from Boer Athletic. Save that one for being an overpass. Man, is Leoniak impressive on that right side.
Big booming swing from Martina Leoniak. The tempo was not a priority there. It was a high ball and then rip it around the block of Ella Beyer. Beyer, no match for Leoniak one-on-one.
And an ace. The old home court bounce you talk about.
It always seems like when you're in your home gym, that ball clips the net. It does trickle over the net a little more often than when you're away. There's a look at Coach Beyer saying, hey, what else could go wrong here early in set 2?
Well, you asked.
Another overpass, and it's that aggressive serving. That prompts an early timeout from Virginia Tech. I like this timeout. Things all going NC State's way. NC State up 6-1. We'll see if serve receive can improve for VT after the break.
Fashion always came easy to me. Then I transitioned to television, and the fashion critics said, play it safe. No bright colors, no chest hair. So I decided to call an audible. Because when I'm around beautiful garments, I'm not creating a look or a style. I'm telling a story. Where do I get my inspiration? A weekend spent with a lumberjack. London's sprawling underworld. It's everywhere if you're listening.
Ignite your imagination. Audible.
There's DNA. Then there's heavy-duty DNA. HDNA. It's what every GMC Sierra HD driver is born with, and it's engineered into every aspect of the GMC Sierra HD, with the pulling power to prove it. The new 2024 GMC Sierra HD. Tow hitches of the world, prepare for glory.
Play it on Xbox.
ACC PM with Mark Packer and Taylor Tannenbaum will get you prepped for college football Saturday, highlighted by Clemson and Miami. Starts at 4 Eastern. That game is right here on ACC Network Saturday night at 8 Eastern. Brizard serves, coming out of the timeout. And picks up a nice dig. No touch. Point Hokies.
But the Hokies will take it any way they can get it to try to side out there. An open swing on the left side from Bryant, but Bryant tried to get a little bit too perfect on that sideline angle swing. Virginia Tech will take that opportunity, try to score some on service.
But the serve from Peterson, that's a couple of times. She's clearly trying to serve that right side, but that's a couple of times now it's sailed wide. Allen had her foot on the attack line, couldn't leap for that back row. She's last to touch it, and the Hokies cut the NC State lead to 3.
A bit of miscommunication over on the NC State side. Eventually, just too much Kara Lewis. You can see the elevation there matched with her fantastic skill. If they can get her on track, look for a flip of the script here for Virginia Tech.
Pardon me, it was cutting it to 4. I thought they had not put the point up on the scoreboard yet. My apologies. Math can be hard sometimes. As we get another look at this skill. Of course, math is not tough for Virginia Tech assistant Caleb Adams. Got a chance to talk to him pre-match and spends time as a professor of mathematics.
That's right.
When he's not coaching volleyball, that is incredible.
That's right, right down the street at Radford. So if you wanted a stat guy or a data man on your Virginia Tech team, Caleb Adams is the one. And I also know him to be a very good recruiter and just a very good volleyball guy. He's been doing it for a very, very long time, not only at Radford, but when Coach Marcy Byers said, hey, would you be willing to come up the street to Virginia Tech to work for me? He said, absolutely. I'd love to come and help out.
Well, somebody's out of rotation, and it's the Hokies. And some looks of confusion on that side of the net. And I think they've now realized their mistake.
And that's a bit of a disappointment for Virginia Tech. You see a mistake like that maybe in week 1 or week 2. Well, Virginia Tech was cruising in weeks 1 and 2 en route to their best start in history with a 10-0 beginning. They didn't have mistakes like that. You're not expecting a rotation issues in the middle of ACC play here in the heart of October volleyball.
Coach Byers staying positive, cheering her team on, trying to get them juiced up after obviously an error you'd prefer not to have. Here's Brizard. And a rare misfire for her.
Brizard going high hands there. It was really her only choice. She was a little bit underneath the ball, maybe approached a fraction early. The result, aiming for a little bit of a mini touch. She didn't get it. Point awarded to the Hokies.
Rodriguez, nice serve. Stokes behind the attack line, sets with that overhand finger action. NC State gets a touch and gets the point.
I just continue to be impressed with Ava Brizard's command over the left line attack. She's been ripping that more and more this season. Last season, more of an angle attacker. This year, really getting greater command over that line swing, as you can see in that slow-mo, beautiful shot of that ball glancing off of the block for the point for NC State.
Rodriguez, great hustle, and nobody can get there to send it over. Much of the same from NC State in the second set that we saw in the first ball.
There's more offensive pressure, especially in longer rallies. NC State starting to up their numbers. They were hitting sub 100 mid to late in that first set, now hitting 417 in this set, certainly upping their offensive efficiency.
Madison Williams adds to the NC State lead.
And I love the sound you get picking up on the communication on the NC State side. You heard the defense say nobody to Madison Williams. That means you don't have a block, swing away. She swings freely, gets that ball down for a point.
Obviously, you're trying to use your vision, but when you're starting your approach and you hear nobody, that's one of your favorite things to hear as a volleyball player.
Oh, that's a dream. When you hear nobody, you're dialing it up and you're swinging at 108%. Yeah. You know, you're taking it all
nobody.
The way up.
Say less. I'm ready.
That's right.
Ava Francis from Plain City, Ohio. Spent a semester at Arizona transferred over, now her second year with the Hokies. That swing took down Rodriguez, but she was able to absorb it and keep the Hokies in this point. Pack up 6, make it 7.
And it's the shoot set out to the left side for Leoniak. Leoniak had been attacking higher balls over on the left in her one rotation on the left. This time they trust her to McDaniel with the shoot, Leoniak, and the finish.
We'll pack up a touchdown here in set number 2. Wow.
McDaniel knows to set the hot hand. The hot hand right now at the moment is easily Leoniak crushing on left side, and now the right side bomb for another point.
It starts with a serve of Brizard, and that let the NC State block get set up and ready for Pierce.
And that's a high ball, and therefore plenty of time for that block to get in position. No problem for Bryant, along with the close of Jada Allen.
And a point for the Hokies. Lucky Rose Williams coming in, the sophomore from Hawaii. Well, she hasn't played since the 1st of October against Clemson, but she's inserted here into this second set and immediately has a positive impact. Several changes being made by Coach Byers here.
No reason not to switch it up for Coach Byers.
Elena Dupre is also in.
Yes, a tough first set, and now down doubled up by NC State. Why not make a change, give a different look at the Wolfpack defense?
A thunderous kill from Jada Allen.
That middle attack against a solo blocker. I like that matchup anytime, even against the great Carol Lewis. Very experienced. Lewis drops her hands into the attack, but way too much room to cover Jada Allen with a finish.
Man, how good is that look? You see that swing from Jada Allen, and it's no wonder she's hitting over 400.
And she is put in good situations. Does McDaniel find her at the right time to have that efficiency be so high?
Good kill for Pierce. Haley Pierce, the freshman from Charlotte, had 5 kills on Wednesday. And coming back from injury, they are so happy to have her and really want to use her in 6 rotations. Tried to pick out a spot deep and missed it. But she's going to be a positive impact on Virginia Tech. You know, today is her 7th appearance of the season, but 5 of them have come in the month of October since she's gotten healthier and is really started to hit her stride.
And that health is so important because that also equals confidence. It's hard to be confident if you feel like you're coming off of an injury. You're still testing how you feel. Leoniak had dealt with that a little bit earlier this season. I like the looks from Pierce. She's just going to clean it up a little bit. I like her future in the ACC.
So Naomi Cabello to serve for the Wolfpack. Pierce, another kill.
And this time Pierce hacks away at a new middle blocker for NC State. It's Lily Cropper coming in on the block. She didn't quite get the block closed to Madison Williams, therefore just enough of a gap for Pierce to get it through.
Lily Cropper, a middle blocker they're very excited about, as you've seen from the play of Allen and Schalk right now in her sophomore season behind them. She hasn't played in just over a month for NC State, but she has played at times her freshman year and in the preseason and has really played a nice middle.
I think what she has proved to the coaching staff is that she is a reliable middle 3. Sometimes there's a big gap between M2, M3, that starting position and that next one in. Lily Cropper has proved that she can step in at any time and handle the middle for NC State.
I saw Eliza Villar come in and serve well to close out the first set. And NC State with a pretty comfortable cushion here in set number 2, able to kind of get some different players some playing time and get them ready, because you always have to stay ready during the season. You never know when you're going to be called upon.
That's very much the case. You see Alasia Villar seeing time now in the second set. She finished off the first set as well. They're getting challenged on service reception, like that quality serve. And of course, if you are a server for Virginia Tech, you're going to go against the least played or lesser of the many played in service reception. Good serve by Rodriguez to put pressure on Villar.
Perfect ball from Stokes. Williams the dig. NC State the first to 20.
So I think the attempt to serve at Villar was unsuccessful. I think they would have liked to have had that go again. Instead, it went to the best passer for NC State. That was Stokes. That started that rally.
And Brizard has passed well, but she's been the most targeted all season, as you would expect, right, because of her offensive threat.
Always good to target a 6-row outside to try to throw them off of their rhythm. They may pass just as well, but if it prevents them from getting outside in position to attack, then you've still scored a little bit in your attempt to weaken the opponent's service reception.
I'll tell you what, Paul, you know, the serve from Stokes is so impressive, but if I'm in the front row, I might be a little nervous about that short serve that goes in the middle of the net.
Well, it's a little bit like in the men's game where most of them are jump serving. You'll see hands behind the head and folded to try to protect from getting clocked from 30 feet from the big serve.
And now it's the Hokies serving it well. They've cut it to 5. And head coach Lucas Lambe is going to call a timeout. Hokies on a 5-1 scoring run. Thursday, women's soccer coverage begins at 6 p.m. when Boston College meets Wake Forest in Winston-Salem. Then at 8 o'clock, it's 3rd-ranked North Carolina, 11th-ranked Notre Dame. It's all coming your way Thursday on the ACC Network. Well, the ACC in women's soccer, the best conference in the country. And volleyball, this conference year after year just gets better and better. Take a look at some of the headlines around this great conference. And, you know, the biggest one, Paul, and we touched on it at the Open when we showed the ACC standings, is that 4 teams at 6-1. And it's the usual suspects, right? It's Louisville, it's Pitt, it's Georgia Tech, and Florida State.
It really speaks to the level of ACC play. And as we've talked offline as well, ACC volleyball has improved over the last 2 to 4 seasons. Yes, Georgia Tech, Louisville, Pitt remain at the top and have really buoyed the ACC standings. But other teams are now getting a sniff. The level of play is much better. Wake Forest, so much better on the court. NC State elevating their level of play as you see just the constant infighting at the top of the ACC. Louisville sweeping Pitt. I was not expecting a sweep there. I was really expecting 4 or 5 sets.
That was obviously a highly anticipated match. And it seems like Florida State's been in 5 sets with everybody, right? Virginia Tech took them to 5 sets and extra points. NC State took them to 5 sets last weekend. They fall to Georgia Tech in 5. Ava Brizard out of the first called timeout for NC State on the afternoon.
No better place to go out of a timeout when Virginia Tech has had a big run than to go Brizard. There's Brizard again targeting that line. I just cannot say enough about how difficult it is to have command over a line shot on the left side. Brizard is putting on a clinic over there.
You see right around 3.5 kills per set. She's hit that quota so far. That swing, her 7th kill.
Transition to Jada Allen. I like the way NC State mixes in a middle attack here and there just to keep the opposing team off guard. Jada Allen hitting at a smooth 500 on the ball game. 4 kills, super efficient. Great work by Allen. Always available to take a big swing.
Paul, can I just say, we're talking about the ACC headlines, and you got all those teams at the top and how much improved the league is. This is just a request. I know it might not happen. Can we get an ACC Volleyball championship? I want a tournament at the end to settle it. I just think that would be very entertaining and just some great matches that we would see. See some matchups again for a second or maybe even a third time.
That conference tournament trend is trending. The SEC is actually moving to that tournament in 2024, so maybe the ACC will take a few notes and possibly generate a conference tournament. Yeah. Coaches are very mixed on, though.
I know there's pros and cons. Just as a fan, I want to see it.
Oh, it is absolutely fan-friendly to get a conference tournament without a doubt. You want to talk about fan-friendly? There's another big swing from Ava Brizard. But that conference tournament is fan-friendly, but it does pose some risk for a team that would have otherwise been bubble in. They lose that first round in that conference tournament. They then feel like they wish they would not have had to play that first round matchup.
Conversely, though, right? Everyone in the league has a loss. Everyone can get on a roll and win it, so everybody has a shot. Maybe you were on the outside looking in. Who knows? You get hot at the right time, you could be the automatic qualifier.
Well, when you're the middle team, you want the conference tournament. And when you're an RPI lock, you don't want anything to do with it.
Well, service error, a disappointing finish to the set for Virginia Tech. At intermission.
By Ava Brizard in, as you highlighted, a very balanced offense. So when she gets the ball, she takes advantage of it.
Off and running here in the third set. And NC State will take the first point. Virginia Tech trying to turn things around, not just in this match, but in this series. The last 9 straight in this series have belonged to the Wolfpack. And they are one set away from making it 10 in a row. Virginia Tech has not won in this matchup since September of 2015, and they haven't won in Raleigh in a decade. Stokes wipes her hands before offering up that set to Leoniak. They'll try the other side. This is Brizard. She was a bit off the net, and Pierce has the size and the hand placement to take care of that.
Yep, and she gets in on the action along with Jasmine Robinson, seeing action now for the first time for Virginia Tech, and Robinson takes advantage of that opportunity. Very pumped up there in the middle to get that close and block.
That'll be 4 hits on NC State.
Robinson again putting on a little bit of pressure for Virginia Tech, so the change in lineups continue. We now see on the start Lucky Rose Williams getting the start here in set 3. She saw her first action in set 2 today.
Francis, great job in the back row. But how often do we see that? Great defensive play, but it's still an uphill climb to win the point, and that NC State block is ready, set, go.
And the main scenario there is you make a big save, it generally is going to generate an out-of-system scenario.
Right.
And out-of-system against Leoniak and Allen on the block, that's a tough matchup.
The Hokies in system, going into the middle to Jasmine Robinson. Robinson able to touch it across and stayed out of the net. Leoniak terminates on the right side. First time we've seen Jasmine Robinson in this match. The redshirt sophomore from Chesapeake, Virginia, didn't play Wednesday against Wake Forest.
And she drops her hands into the angle. However, that ball was attacked down the line, so Robinson not involved in that block, but she was in good position.
Jada Allen involved in that block on Lucky Rose Williams.
And there's Leoniak again. When the offense is clicking for Leoniak, she is a tough threat, but now also again chipping in with this big block. You see her sealing properly with that right hand to get that ball to block into the court of Virginia Tech.
Pierce from behind the attack line. Here is Lucky Rose Williams. Good tip. That'll work.
And a tip was really about the only shot Williams had there over on the left side. She was a little bit out of sorts on that timing standpoint. The block closed with the long Leoniak in front of her. She tips up and over, down for the point. I like that choice from Williams. A lot of players would tense up and try to just bang away there or tip too easily. Smart tip by her to get that point.
Second time we've seen Elena Dupre come in to serve. It can be tough sometimes to come in cold. She's brought in as that serve specialist, sails it long, and she'll come out. They're going to get Rodriguez back into that back row.
And when you're running a 6-2, you can't always run your middles too far away from the setter. So the most dynamic that NC State can get is they run that back quick, successfully finished by Riley Schock. Excellent finish by her. Love that work from McDaniel on the set.
Schock had a big weekend last weekend with 9 kills at 571. She's having a good weekend here on our home court.
And Schock still hitting efficiently, hitting at a 667 clip with 4 kills on the day. So whatever she touches, pretty much she's finishing off.
Again, Williams goes softer, and the finesse works well.
Love that off-speed work from Williams. She does it again. She tipped a few moments ago, this time going with more of a roll shot. McDaniel back on her heels, awaiting the big swing. Instead, the roll shot goes down for the point.
21 kills coming into today. She's got 3. Schock again. As you said, everything she's touching turned into gold. She's now 5 for 7. 7 swings, 5 kills, no errors.
I like that choice to go back to Schock. Leoniak was in the passing pattern back in the right back. So instead of trying to force Schock to go with give and go, how about give it to a hot Schock who finishes her second kill just in as many rotations.
Boy, NC State in system off a free ball, and the Hokies with a big block.
Williams was a little late to attack that ball. She did not get that ball at the peak of her reach. The result, she was up against it with 2 quality blockers in front of her in Rose and Lewis.
On the slide, there's Lewis. She's been fairly quiet today, but one of the best in the ACC, hitting over 400 coming into this weekend.
Lewis has proved that when set, she has found success. The problem, Virginia Tech has not been able to pass well enough to allow for their setters to get the ball to her a little bit more frequently.
Cabello feeds Williams for the point. Naomi Cabello, the senior setter, with the assist. And as you see today, NC State and Virginia Tech partaking in the pink match for breast cancer awareness. This is a meaningful match for Naomi. Her mom, Myra, is a recent breast cancer survivor.
And what a wonderful story to be able to represent for those survivors and those who have struggled with that disease. Not only the folks that have had it, but also the people that it affects. It affects families, it affects friends. And what an honor today to be calling this matchup, this pink matchup for NC State.
And it's always special, especially in this venue, Reynolds Coliseum, K-Yao Court, and the legendary head coach of NC State women's basketball, and also coached volleyball for a couple years at the very start of her career. But the Play for K, of course, has become world famous, and the pink match very special here at Raleigh. It's Cabello with that back spinning dig. Williams lets it fly. There was a touch. Point NC State as the Pack surge ahead by 5. Timeout, Hokies will take it with them.
I can never remember how to perfectly format my citations.
Just click Get Citation, and you'll have a full citation ready to copy, always formatted perfectly.
Perfect. I can even show I used Grammarly for paraphrasing.
Use AI tools without compromising your integrity.
Wow, that was fast. This thesis is solid.
94% of students say Grammarly helps improve their grades. Download Grammarly for free.
It's your journey. Own every mile in the Hyundai Tucson with America's best warranty. Get up to $1,500 bonus cash on the 2024 Tucson or 2.99% APR for 60 months. See your hometown Hyundai dealer.
Do you trust your insurance agent? Do you trust your insurance company? Well, you'd better. Because all they've really sold you is a promise. A promise to be there when things go bad. A promise to take care of you. To step up and put everything back the way it was. So, if you don't trust your insurance company, maybe it's time to find one you do trust. West Bend. The worst brings out our best.
Lighting it up on the offensive side of the ball, but it's been the blocks that have really had the greatest impact for NC State. Already chipping in with 4 blocks on the day. It's so hard to come in and help as a right side blocker to help out on that middle attack that she did on that first point in the package. Excellent work by Leoniak, really clamping down on Virginia Tech's 100% clip.
Difference maker.
In 2 words, you've got it absolutely right, and she has absolutely done it this weekend. Not expecting necessarily to see right side time, but she has done it successfully so far against Wake and also here today against the Hokies.
Lewis hits into the net.
Really the first mistake by Lewis per se. She has to recognize that that set was a little bit low and do something else with it instead of jamming so hard. Great save in the backcourt by Lucky Rose Williams to keep that rally alive.
Bryant saying, hey, that's my bad. Tough pass from Brizard. They give Williams a back row attack. Oh, she just missed it.
I like that choice to go to Williams. Williams has looked good on her swings today, hitting 400 up until that back row attack, just barely missing the right back sideline.
How did Rodriguez keep that one off the deck? She got another touch to it, but no stopping NC State there. Wolfpack 15-7. We've got a score update. Miami and Georgia Tech. An interesting match, and how about this? Miami 2-0.
Georgia Tech not unfamiliar with the 5-setter. And in fact, NC State went 5 with Miami before falling to them last weekend. So we'll have to see if Miami can finish the deal against Georgia Tech.
That would, of course, help Miami's RPI. That's a match that I think NC State and Miami are 2 of the more intriguing teams in this conference. I'll tell you why after this point. Robinson, big swing. Point continues. Cabello to Brizard. Touch. And a point to the pack. So I think we talk about the 4 teams at the top at 6-1, right? Louisville, Pitt, and Virginia Tech, or pardon me, as we get a little touch here from Virginia Tech. Ooh, just barely. You could see that index finger from Robinson. So the 4 teams at the top, Louisville, Pitt, Georgia Tech, Florida State. They've separated themselves a little bit, Paul. But that 5th spot, I think, is going to be an NCAA tournament team with where this league is RPI-wise. Last year, NC State finished 6th. They were out of the NCAA tournament. Miami got in. I think after what they did Friday to kind of separate themselves from Wake Forest a little bit, that to me might be the battle for 5th. I think the league's good enough. I'd like to see 6 teams get in, but if it does come down to 5, these are the 2 teams that seem like they're going to be fighting for that spot. Of course, there's a lot of volleyball to play.
That's right. And Miami looking to get their signature win. A win over Georgia Tech would be that. NC State already has one under their belt, dealing Louisville with their sole loss in conference play. So you're right, Miami. And with with a win for Miami today, should NC State win, those 2 would have the tiebreak for that 5th place, and then Miami ahead of NC State, having defeated NC State last weekend. So, as you say, a very intriguing ACC with a chance for not only 5 teams, but possibly a 6th in the NCAA tournament. Madison Williams, all smiles. I don't mind that. The right side attack down the line. She had open space over there. Virginia Tech's blocking angle. Williams opens up the shoulder, rips it down the line for the point.
Really great set by Boyer. Hugging the net, had to set it one-handed. But it's just too much NC State right now, Paul. They have been clinical today.
They really have had the answer to most attacks from Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech in set 1 had some success over on the right side with a slide and a right side attack, but they've not been able to get those plays on track. They cannot seem to pass in system enough to run all of their offensive options.
And the great serving from McDaniel continues.
And we've seen this from McDaniel throughout the season, this low lefty float. This ball is floating and has some quality moving action, putting significant pressure on service reception. Right now, Virginia Tech feeling the pain of that floater from McDaniel.
Warm it up, Chris. She's about to warm it up, Chris.
It's the 3rd time we have seen that today. And Virginia Tech is going to call timeout. You know, in tennis, that's when you put your hand up as like just a sort of apology to your opponent. Hey, fortunate bounce there. Apologies. Again, women's soccer on Thursday. Coverage begins 6 o'clock. BC and Wake Forest in Winston-Salem. And then top 15 matchup between the Tar Heels and the Fighting Irish. It's all coming your way Thursday on the ACC Network. Well, we're talking about the strength of this conference, and it's just getting better and better. You've got 8 teams in the top 50, really in the top 45. That's where the Clemson Tigers are. You see NC State at 37, shoulder to shoulder with Miami.
And NC State will get a boost in the RPI after that victory over Wake Forest. A win today over Virginia Tech steadies their tally But as you can see, even Clemson on the heels of this RPI trying to make a case for themselves. But as you mentioned, it's a hot Miami who would really get a boost if they're to knock off Georgia Tech today.
And the nice thing is a lot of that work is done in the preseason, right? So when you already have the respect from the RPI, you got 8 teams in the top 50. You get to play high RPI teams, and that kind of keeps your RPI up. Pitt taking care of business against Notre Dame, Louisville as well against Virginia, and North Carolina. That one a bit of a surprise maybe over Boston College. We've got nothing but potential sweeps on the board today so far.
I'd expect a little bit more play out of Miami, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is probably not going to get out of there being swept. That's just not the mindset of that squad. And a feisty Michelle Collier, the head coach for Georgia Tech, I don't think she's going to tolerate a 3-0 sweep. Now, it's really up to the players, but we'll have to see what comes of the rest of that match.
More of the same out of the timeout. Virginia Tech out of system.
And when you're out of system so much that out of system set is to 10 feet, you've got Pierce looking up at the ball. All she can do is try to send it into open space, though she sent it too far. Another point for NC State.
Better here.
Jasmine Robinson in service reception, a first ball side out. Not many first ball side out kills for Virginia Tech. They'll take whatever they can get. They're trying to build some momentum here. Of course, they'd love to come back here in set 3, though it's looking insurmountable against a strong NC State squad.
That's a dig from Rodriguez, and maybe a momentum play for Virginia Tech. Incredible. Rodriguez the dig, and then Robinson wins the joust.
NC State falling asleep just a little bit there. Nobody in position to block. They were transitioning to hit, expecting a free ball opportunity.
Nice play by Williams. Boer avoids her. And a solo block. Robinson giving them a spark.
Lily Cropper with her first opportunity to take a swing, but she goes right into the teeth of Robinson. Now the R2 comes out to say, hey, direct your energy to your own side. I think that would have been best left alone. Let Robinson celebrate that point just a little bit.
I say that one's down. McDaniel trying to do her best Rodriguez impersonation there. That would have been quite a remarkable dig. Instead, again, talking about that Rodriguez dig, I said it might be a momentum play. That has carried through, and it's going to cause NC State to call a timeout. They want to try and stop this momentum as soon as possible.
And what NC State is really trying to do is generate offense and finish the way they started and played throughout most of this match, to finish with a good taste in their mouth as they try to finish off the sweep for the weekend. There's nothing worse than having a 2-match sweep on a weekend but feel like you finished playing poorly. I think this timeout is to try to regroup, to finish on a better note than these last 4 points from Virginia Tech would show you.
And the way that the schedule is kind of broken is odd, right? Because they play their travel partner, Wake Forest, on Wednesday, and then you get a little bit of time off in between. And you know, it's funny, we were talking to both coaching staffs. What would you prefer, right? Wake Forest played Wednesday and Friday, and that was coming off the heels of taking the trip up north to Syracuse and Boston College. So that was a quick turnaround. Obviously, they felt better about it because they won on Wednesday, but a quick turnaround for Virginia Tech as well. And then Wake Forest, you know, they've got their feet up. They're watching all of this action on the ACC Network Extra across the league here on Sunday, whereas Virginia Tech got to take Thursday off, but they had to wait around a little bit. Now here they are on Sunday. I don't know, which one would you prefer as a coach? What do you think, Paul?
I think I like the Wake situation. Wake now has a chance to take a bit of a break in mid-October, midterms and the like. In fact, Coach Randy Smart told us that Saturday was yoga day for Wake Forest. That's just how much rest they were allowed to get. They won't go back to the floor until possibly Tuesday.
Gotta love a good yoga day. Paul, I know you're a big yogi.
I am not. I am not bendy.
Well, maybe you should be then. Yoga will get you right. Brizard.
Just what the doctor ordered out of that timeout, getting back to better offense on the side of NC State. A longer rally, the 2 balls that were played properly eventually with Ava Brizard on the kill over on the right side in transition.
Fire in the hole.
Stuffed. I've been impressed with Pierce, and we talked to Coach Byers coming in and the impact that she would have. She's had a nice match this afternoon.
Agreed. Pierce has really stepped in with a quality block, while her offense maybe has not been as good as she would like it. The block, and she has chipped in other ways. And also, I like the entry from Jasmine Robinson, really adding a spark here midway through set 3.
Again, this is a young team, and the Hokies just going to continue to build. Double here. That was one thing, Wake Forest, just seeing them a couple days ago, having a better year, taking the next step. And I asked Coach Smart what was the difference, and she said, we're a year older. And I think obviously that's going to be the case for every team next year, but sometimes a year older means graduating and getting younger. For Virginia Tech, it's going to be a year where everybody's got some more experience under their belt.
And NC State benefiting from a couple of years of youth. Leoniak with multiple years now for NC State. Brizard amongst others as NC State looks to close things out on the serve of Courtney Bryant.
This is Lily Cropper. The Wolfpack unbeaten at home, 8-0. There's Hannah Boer. And Coach Byers told us, in her sophomore season, we're looking her to be a little more offensive. That's the first time we've seen it today. Executed well.
A little too late on that. I'd like to have seen a little bit more of that offensive action from her earlier on to establish that scenario.
Virginia Tech, you talk about the momentum of the weekend. This is the best we've seen them all afternoon, I think, just this stretch. And I think Coach Slabe agrees. He's going to call timeout.
Virginia Tech absolutely playing their best ball. They've been scrappy all day, getting some transition digs. However, now they're starting to generate offense. It was the Hannah Boer dump on 2 to get a point down. Now the back attack working for Virginia Tech. So Virginia Tech trying to find a spark here and either come back, which is not unheard of, but at least get some momentum before they play Notre Dame and Louisville the following weekend. The schedule doesn't get any easier for Virginia Tech coming up here later in October.
Yeah, as you say, you see Louisville and Pitt on the schedule. Then the away trip to rival Virginia back in the Triangle, taking on North Carolina to open up their November. Meanwhile, for NC State, they've only got one team on the schedule in the remaining 10 matches after today that is ahead of them in the standings. That would be up next against Pitt, and it's here at home. That's the good news for them. Again, they haven't lost here all season long. Everybody else below them in the standings, it's a manageable schedule. They're not looking ahead, Paul, but we certainly can. If they take care of business, they're going to finish with over 20 wins this year.
There's a good opportunity for NC State, and they're playing and passing the eye test of a team that can get 20 wins, 20 plus, along with their ACC play. And one of the other benefits that gets unnoticed is you see the road trip for NC State. They're going to sleep in their own beds playing against North Carolina. They'll come right back home and
that's right.
Take a nap at their own gym. Also Duke, same thing. So travel will be eased over the next several weeks for NC State. An opportunity there to move ahead in the standings.
Out of the timeout, Pierce to serve. NC State looking to refocus. They go to Leoniak. It's been her day, but not this time.
Good choice out of the timeout. Go to Leoniak over on the right side. She'd been hot most of the day. There, an uncharacteristic miss on that right side line attack.
The tip detected. NC State out of system. Hokies trying to cut it to 4. Lewis off of 1 foot. Got it.
There's the right side zone attack. Kara Lewis over on the right side slide, getting the job done. She has proven that when she can take the ball at the peak of her reach, excellent set from Borer. When she does that, she has had her way against the NC State defense.
A 5-0 scoring run. Here comes match point number 6 for NC State. And they get the job done. The fans here in Reynolds Coliseum enjoy yet another win. Perfect. 9-0 on their home court. And it is a sweep